Hello gamers, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share my thoughts on a very special book that I read a couple of months ago. It was actually my first philosophy book that I have ever read, and it had a significant impact on the way I think. Well, why philosophy, you may ask? Well, the person who inspired me to look into more philosophy, besides I already had like a strong roots and interest to philosophy at the start, but I never committed to reading anything or like research anything. But uh, before, this person called PewdiePie inspired me to with his book reviews, and I really recommend them if you're reading books, interested in philosophy, or just like to know other people's points of view like me. Really recommend check that out after this video. So the book I read, I don't recall it, but it was not recommended by PewdiePie. I just randomly ran into it. It's called Meditation by Marcus Aurelius. It's a collection of personal reflection written by him, and he's one of the Rome's most respected emperors and a key figure in a Stoic philosophy. The book is divided into 12 sections, each filled with aphorism and thoughts on various aspects of life, duty, and the nature of existence. Aurelius didn't write these for publication. They were his private notes. It was his way of grounding himself amidst the challenges of his reign. One of the main themes in the meditation is the idea of impermanence. Aurelius frequently reminds us that life is fleeting and encourages us to live meaningfully in the present. He writes, for example, do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you while you live. While it is in your power, be good. This concept is closely tied to the Stoic practice of so-called memento mori, which means remember that you will die. It's a powerful reminder to appreciate the present moment and focus on what truly matters to you and what makes your life complete or like meaningful to you. He also emphasized rationality. For Aurelius, using reason to navigate life's ups and downs is crucial to maintaining inner peace, and I have to say this theme probably had the biggest impact on me from the whole book. It made me realize many things, the most important one being my love-hate relationship with rationality. Reflecting on my previous experiences, I understood that rationality is the skeleton that holds my mind together. Every time I acted irrational in the past, making decisions based on emotions and putting rationality in the second or even more on the last place, and ended up terribly. Only after I discovered the power of rational thinking did I begin to feel significantly happier, almost permanently happier. So you might be asking, why is it love-hate relationship then, if it makes me happy? Well, the fact that rationality has such significant impact on my well-being later started to terrify me, because the thing I have always valued the most, and I still always value the most, is freedom. Since I'm pretty much controlled by rational thinking, my action became predictable and dull-like. It made me doubt the very existence of freedom, which I doubt to this day. Hopefully I will find answers in the future. But yeah, this realization has kept me balancing on the line between rationality and irrationality for a while. I found out that pure rationality, just like the pure irrationality is not the answer. One of my favorite quote on this topic is, "You have the power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." To put this in more like practical example, I explained it to myself like, imagine you want a fruit tree where you can grow your own fruits every year. So what do at the start? You either buy seeds or maybe some young tree and you plant it anyway. After a while, you find out the tree doesn't give you any fruit and you really wanted that fruit. So what could you do? You could get very sad. You could get very angry. You could give up on that tree and find millions of reasons why it doesn't work and how is it not your fault. And eventually, if emotions last longer, you could consciously or unconsciously blame your sadness or anger or fear on that tree, and it will affect your mental well being in a long term in that way. And when I put it in that way, at least for me, it doesn't sound very rational, right? At the very start, I was the one who planted that tree and who had an intention for it to grow fruits. The tree didn't plant itself, and I'm sure it doesn't care if it grows any fruits or not. If it was very cold outside, for example, it's not nature's fault. You could make a greenhouse, right? If it was too dry outside without rain, it is also not nature's fault. You could make some water system for it and keep it hydrated. Is that a word for a tree? If the soil didn't have the good quality, you were the one who planted it into that soil in the first place. And if it got bad later, after you plant it, you could also replant the tree. So I had full responsibility for my desired achievement, which was the fruit in this example. Relying on that tree that it will do what I want by itself seems foolish for me. And I think it is irrational and foolish. And this very concept is, in my point of view, and I believe also in Mr. Aurelius's point of view, completely compatible with human relationships and other aspects of your life. It affected me in a way that I no longer feel anger towards people that don't act as I imagine, because it made me feel weak in the first place, stupid in the second place, and every time I was angry at something, it happened again. Because I'm angry at something that I cannot control. It still could happen sometimes. It still happens sometimes, but it's like a really fast moment until I realize, oh yeah, that I shouldn't be angry at this. But I do not hold grudges anymore towards any people because it's not really rational. I could end this idea with pretty much self-explaining quote from the book. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, in my example a tree, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. I also want to talk a bit about fear that controls, I believe, life of every person on this planet, and how this book helped me to see fear from different perspective. I will just say a little bit about fear, maybe, because I'm not really straight with it for now, but I will come back to the theme of fear probably in other videos. People mostly see fear as a negative emotion, where de facto I see it as natural, yet very powerful, scalable emotions. Controllable, the most important. I will connect it to the Aurelius quote, which goes like, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." And this quote immediately sketched for me a picture of a wild dog that is being aggressive towards you, but there is a giant dragon spitting fire that is not necessarily on your side, but he's a cat person, for example. He hates dogs for some reason. And when that dog step into the territory of yours, so will it step into territory of dragon. What will happen then? Well, the dragon will immediately tear up the dog to the pieces. So, what are those beings in a sketch? They're both fear. Dog symbolizes the fear of death, fear of rejection, fear of unknown, that are all natural to human and also to the other living beings, where a dragon symbolizes the fear of never beginning to live, and respectively, never achieving your big goal or going against what you think is your meaning of life. And at last, the last one, Aurelius believed in cultivating personal virtues like wisdom, courage, and justice as the path to true contentment. He says, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. And it slightly connects to also previous ideas he had. Reading meditations really resonated with me. It changed the way I approach daily challenges and helped me cultivate a more rational and balanced mindset. For example, whenever I face something stressful, I remind myself to focus on what I can control and let go for the rest. In conclusions, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius is must read for anyone interested in philosophy, self-improvement, or simply looking for guidance on leading a meaningful life. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the review, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more book reviews and discussions and gaming content. And let me know in the comments if you have read Meditations or if you have any other philosophy book recommendation. See you in the next video.